I would definitely have to say that one of the characters in the sequel trilogy that really grew on me was Supreme Leader Snoke, portrayed by Andy Serkis. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, what I love so much about Supreme Leader Snoke is not only how mysterious his backstory really is, though I really would love to have it explained sooner than later, in which it will be explained in late 2019, so we got a little ways to go until we learn more about this character. But not only that is that the legendary Andy Serkis got the opportunity in order to play Snoke in Star Wars as a whole. So a lot of people have been requesting this. A lot of people have been asking me about some of the unknown facts about Supreme Leader Snoke, and I wanted to go over one creepy one that not the majority of Star Wars fans around the world necessarily know, unless you read the Force Awakens novelization. Now, this one has all to do with General Leia, Supreme Leader Snoke, and Ben Solo. Alright, it's a huge connection here that will freak you out to a certain degree. Now, we do know that Snoke is obsessed with the concept of light meets darkness, right? Darkness rises and light to meet it, as we heard that phrase in The Last Jedi. Well, one creepy fact about Supreme Leader Snoke, if you read the Force Awakens novelization, I'll never forget this, I was on the train reading this thing about 2.5 years ago, maybe a little less, and I was reading it, and I came across this segment in the book, and out of nowhere, we do learn that Supreme Leader Snoke was watching over Ben Solo before he was born, while Ben Solo was inside of Leia's womb. That's how long Snoke has been examining the character of Ben Solo, and just waiting to manipulate him as he grew to a certain age, watching all of his weaknesses take place, all of the moments in which Kylo Ren was neglected by his parents, Han Solo and Leia. If you read the Bloodline novel by Claudia Gray, excellent book by the way, if you guys want to dive into the politics of Star Wars and the character of Leia and Black Squadron and the start of the Resistance, it's a pretty interesting angle to Star Wars, I gotta say. But if you're into that kind of thing, it's a great read. But in that book, it actually does go over that there's a message that Leia sent out to Ben Solo, and she was actually admitting the fact that his grandfather is indeed Darth Vader, and that message reached Ben way too late. That's why he snapped and ultimately went to the dark side of the Force and started siding with, Supreme Leader Snoke. But aside from all of that, the fact that Snoke was watching over Ben Solo and watching his every move as he grew up, from being unborn all the way up until I think it was the age of 16 or 17 years old when he was at Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy. I'm not quite sure of the exact age. Number EW said that he was in his late teens when he turned to the dark side of the Force. So when we see Ben Solo in that flashback in The Last Jedi, it could very well be that he's either 17, 18, or 19 years old. So with that being all done and said, the fact that Snoke was watching over Ben while he was unborn, could you imagine that? What Snoke was really doing. Now, was Snoke doing anything to Leia remotely, or something to Ben Solo remotely, giving him visions perhaps? We're not quite sure. We do know that Snoke has this power in order to essentially bond the minds of two individuals or more. And you can see that it's a lasting effect. At the very end of The Last Jedi, you do see that both Rey and Kylo Ren still hold that power of Force bond. And it's either a hint that Snoke is still alive, or it's a hint that that power that Snoke initiated between the two is actually a permanent thing now that they can't get rid of. And the only way to maybe, break the chain there is to kill one of the people, like either Kylo kills Rey or Rey kills Kylo, and they break the Force bond, or they join together and pretty much be a couple of the Star Wars franchise, and they wouldn't have to go through those Force bond sequences from afar. I think that could very well be a component used in order to draw these two characters together, is the use of Force bond. I really do believe that was foreshadowing at the very end of The Last Jedi, but I digress. The whole entire concept in the Force Awakens novelization, when it goes over how Snoke was examining Ben Solo when he was unborn, essentially manipulating him from the very start, to me, that's pretty creepy, and it's something that not the majority of Star Wars fans know, so I figured I would bring it to, everybody's attention that Snoke really has, known Ben Solo from before he was even born from Leia. So, anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.